All right, your time is now 6:32 as we turn now to some breaking news on our top story, the indictment of Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill.
Yeah, minutes ago, Murrill's office announced that the state Supreme Court, in fact, granted her request for an emergency stay of her indictment. A very big headline. Let's walk you through it. In that ruling, the court says that Murrill, quote, makes a compelling argument concerning the disturbing defects in the grand jury proceedings and in the trial court's handling of those proceedings. Now, in her request, the Attorney General called the grand jury's actions a violation of the law, citing media reports of the grand jury investigation before those charges were ever announced. The Attorney General says that's how she found out about the proceedings. She also pointed to alleged conflicts of interest involving the Special Prosecutor, former Orleans criminal court judge Laurie White, who, according to court documents, is being represented by Murrill's office in a sexual harassment lawsuit. White also was the longtime attorney for Calvin Duncan, as we know, a key player in this case.
A lot of moving parts with this case. Even though we are getting new developing information, the facts of the case still remain the same. So on that note, let's send it over to our Mike McDaniel for more details about what happens next and where things go from here. Mike.
Yeah, it can kind of make your head spin like drinking from a fire hose, as they say. What started as a dispute over the restructuring of the Orleans Parish Criminal Clerk of Court's office here in Orleans Parish has really turned into this case that now centers on AG Liz Murrill. So let's talk about how we got here. Take a step back. Earlier this year, that's when state lawmakers voted to move forward with consolidating the criminal and civil clerk offices here in Orleans Parish, creating just one position. Well, that's when New Orleans city leaders got involved and appointed an interim clerk and then called for a special election to lead the office. Well, that's when Attorney General Liz Murrill argued the city's actions violated state law and then sent letters warning the mayor, Helena Moreno, and District Attorney Jason Williams, as well as several other city council members, that they could lose their elected offices if they didn't stop what they were doing. Now, those letters prompted an Orleans Parish grand jury to launch its own investigation into whether those letters amounted to public intimidation. Thursday, we saw that grand jury indict Murrill on 16 felony counts, including public intimidation and malfeasance in office. Now the focus shifts to the courtroom, at least for now. An arrest warrant had been issued and her bond was set at $400,000. Of course, Murrill denies any wrongdoing here, calling the indictment politically motivated as well as unconstitutional, while the governor, Jeff Landry, had said publicly that he would back her and pardon her if necessary. After the indictment was handed up yesterday, attorneys on both sides answered some questions outside the courthouse.
Aren't we a little tired as New Orleanians also having everyone in the state kicked in New Orleans? And why would we want people to be afraid to run for office if they're going to be intimidated?
But are you worried that now Attorney General Murrill could use the power of the state to come after you or other members of the local administration?
I worry every day about myself. How about you?
New Orleans goes and begs the state of Louisiana for money, hundreds of millions of dollars. They'll be back there in a couple of weeks. And this is sort of, as the governor said, the kangaroo court we expect here in the city. There are consequences for that. And so, you know, the bond, locking the press out, setting a $400,000 bond when we're not seeing that on armed robberies, you know, that certainly says what the motives are here. And I think the rest will speak for itself.
And with this news we just got from the Supreme Court giving the stay on this motion that Liz Murrill has filed, it kind of changes what's next in this case. Of course, this stay effectively pauses the criminal aspect of this while the legal ramifications or the legal issues get sorted out. Live from Criminal District Court, Mike McDaniel, WWL Louisiana.